So you guys know that in my fourth year of university, I decided that I didn't want to do my program anymore and decided to transition into a different career for my next co-op. When you have no real skill or experience into the field that you're trying to transition into, I found a pretty good way to do this entire thing. This is probably going to be the fastest and most straightforward method, but it won't be easy. It'll take a lot of hard work and dedication, so stick with me. So this is the first step you want to do as an average student who's just trying to transition into another career. Step number 1. Imitation is the first step to mastery. Now, if you're lacking in fundamental skills right now, the best and first thing you must do is to start copying people. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, you shouldn't copy people because that's not original and that won't get you anywhere and that won't make you stand out and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the problem with that is that that method only works if you have the skills to be creative in the first step. Us students, sometimes we don't have the luxury of hiring a coach. We just have YouTube to learn off of, which is why the method of being creative and standing out comes after having the fundamentals down. Now, I'm not telling you to buy a $200 course and just watch the videos and binge those all day until you get a certificate. That's quite the opposite, actually. Instead, I want you to go and search for any resource that you can find that leads you through a beginner project step by step and copy it word for word, line for line, whatever you might be doing. Of course, I don't need to mention that, this project has to be within whatever core skills that you're trying to develop in the field that you're trying to transition into. Now, if you don't know what core skills you need for your new job, it's very simple. All you're going to do is you are going to go to a job searching platform like I have on Indeed.com right here, and you are just going to go through the job postings and literally look at the required skills if they have one. Now, chances are that some skills will just keep popping up and keep reoccurring. That's probably a good sign to say, hey, a lot of jobs need this core skill. Let me go work on it with my projects. Also, a word of caution here, don't spend too much time researching what is the best beginner project to start. Instead, I want you to just start it. The biggest mistake that you could be doing right now is just not doing anything at all. And this is kind of known as tutorial hell, where you're trying to find the best way to do something instead of actually going and doing it. Now, for me, this was sort of just searching up YouTube videos and seeing where is a good starting point and what is a good project to start as a beginner. So as someone who's trying to transition into a role in data science, people pointed to this website called Kaggle, where they basically have a lot of data sets for you to explore and play with. So I just basically picked one of those beginner projects, namely this Titanic data set, and I basically just copied the top entry or whatever and wrote it line for line. Now you might be asking, is this plagiarism? Well, yes, it is, but you know what? It gets you going. It gets you going, and that's all that matters right now. We need to get going. And you might be wondering, okay, but how do you actually learn from this? And the point is not for you to copy things line by line or word for word. Well, the point is to do that, but the point is to look and think about how they approached the problem, how they solved or developed these skills or used these skills in sort of practice in a project-based learning environment. So don't just mindlessly copy, and instead research and write or do it with intention. The key is to understand the process more than anything. And the whole point of project-based learning is so that you can make these mistakes and learn from them. And by repeating these mistakes, you'll soon learn to sort of just how to avoid them. Because just sitting and watching a video isn't going to sort of reinforce this idea. Now, with this method, of course, you might forget some of the things you learned along the way, and that's perfectly fine, because this gets your foot into the door and gets the ball rolling. And of course, your first project might be really bad, but it's something, and that's a starting point. Now, this will help you grasp the fundamentals and also build a portfolio that you can present to your future employer when you're getting this job. The best way to do that, of course, is to show and not tell. Instead of saying, oh, I have skills in coding, you have these projects that are like, hey, I did this using this and this using this, plus it gives you a lot more stuff to talk about. So go pick a project, follow it step by step, and actually go do it.
Just do it!
And then repeat a few times. As you get comfortable with this entire process, you can then slowly put your own little spins and twists on these projects, and you'll soon build that confidence to then start on your own projects. And that's where you can really express creativity and all the stuff that people tell you not to do. So yeah, imitation. Try copying people first, and let me know how that goes. I don't want you to be overwhelmed with this entire thing, because often, and I know I saw it this way, career change was this sort of big thing you have to tackle. But instead, I want you to approach it one step at a time. It's a bit more digestible that way. So go, get started, and come back. Let me know how you're doing. And once you're done that, hopefully I'll have a video for part 2. All right, be gone.